If you like our video, click the button to subscribe to our channel and get easy access to new content. To see our full suite of ad-free video courses, instruction manuals, and quick reference guides, visit us at www.teachucomp.com. You can fill in both selections and layers you create in Photoshop with colors, patterns, or selected history state. For example, a common fill in Photoshop is applying either the current background or foreground color to a selection or layer. The Fill dialog box in Photoshop lets you fill in a selection or layer with a color, pattern, or selected history state in the History panel. If needed, the Fill dialog box also lets you fill a selection in a layer with content surrounding the selection. However, you can often produce better results filling a selection with surrounding content by using the Content Aware Fill command in Photoshop instead of the Content Aware choice in the Fill dialog box. If you intend to apply a fill to a layer or selection in Photoshop using the current foreground or background color, then first select the desired background and foreground colors. Alternatively, if you intend to fill using content from a selected history state, much like the History Brush tool, then select the desired history state to use as the fill source by clicking the box to the left of the state in the History panel. Alternatively, to fill a pattern along a path using a scripted pattern, first create a new path in the Paths panel, and then use one of the pen tools in the Tools panel to draw the path along which to add the pattern, and ensure the path is selected in the Paths panel. With the path selected, then switch back to the Layers panel. For all types of fills, then click to select the raster layer within which to add the fill in the Layers panel. To fill a pixel selection within the layer, then use one of the selection tools to select the area to fill. If you do not make a selection, you will instead fill the entire selected layer. To fill a selection or layer in Photoshop using the Fill dialog box, then select Edit, Fill from the menu bar to open the Fill dialog box. Select the fill content to apply from the Contents dropdown. You can select either the foreground color, background color, color, content aware, pattern, history, black, 50% gray, or white choice as needed. However, note that the content aware choice is only available if you are filling a selection, not an entire layer. To apply the current foreground color or background color, select the foreground color or background color choice. Alternatively, to select a color to use as the fill, select the color choice to open the Color Picker Fill Color dialog box, where you can select a new fill color, and then click the OK button. Alternatively, other fill color choices include the black, 50% gray, or white choices. Alternatively, to apply a content-aware fill to a selection that attempts to fill in the selection using surrounding content, select the Content-Aware choice in the Fill dialog box. This is useful for removing small blemishes or quickly filling in empty canvas areas within images containing adjacent content with a consistent appearance. To enable color adaptation, if you select the Content Aware choice, which adjusts the filled content's contrast and brightness matching to improve its appearance, check the Color Adaptation checkbox in the Options section if desired. Alternatively, to fill a selection or layer with the content from the current history state or snapshot selected as the source in the History panel, select the History choice from the Contents dropdown in the Fill dialog box. Alternatively, to apply a pattern as a fill, Select the Pattern choice from the Contents dropdown. Then click the Custom Pattern dropdown in the Options section, and double-click the desired pattern in the Pattern Picker panel that appears to select it and also close the panel. Optionally, to apply color and placement changes to the fill pattern by using a scripted pattern, check the Script checkbox in the Options section. Then select the desired scripted pattern name from the adjacent drop-down menu. Note that the Place Along Path scripted pattern is only available for selected paths in a layer. After you finish and apply a scripted pattern, a dialog box for its settings will then appear. The dialog box and settings vary for each type of scripted pattern. Use the sliders and drop-downs in this dialog box to set its desired colors and pattern placement, and then click the OK button to finish. To set the blending mode of the fill, which sets the blending mode of the selected type of fill with any existing content in the layer or selection, select a blending mode from the Mode dropdown in the Blending section of the Fill dialog box. To set the fill opacity, type a percentage into the opacity field. To preserve transparent pixels in your layer or selection if needed, check the Preserve Transparency checkbox. To apply the selected fill, click the OK button in the Fill dialog box. Alternatively, you can also use keyboard shortcuts to quickly apply common fills like the foreground or background color to a selection or layer in Photoshop. To quickly fill the foreground color into a selection or layer in Photoshop, press both the Alt plus Delete keys or Option plus Delete keys for Macs at the same time on your keyboard. Alternatively, to quickly fill the background color into a selection or layer in Photoshop, press the Ctrl plus Delete keys or Command plus Delete keys for Macs on your keyboard. Remember to click the subscribe button to see more of our videos. See our full suite of courses, instruction manuals, and quick reference guides at www.teachucomp.com.